Dégribh má cáilte Marcus Joseph an seo Marcus tá fáilte wrote. Very welcome to another video. Folks, we're in big trouble here. If you've been following what's been happening up north for a long time, over the past 10-15 years, they've been fighting up the north with basically there's a Canadian company who has been prospecting éIRe, and I mean the whole island. It's not only up north, it's down south as well, that they're finding a vein of gold that runs right through éIRe, and it goes right up into the under the sea and right up into Scotland. I thought for a long time, like you know, they started building houses out near me a few years ago, and it's taken very long. Like they've gone in prepping, and it seemed to take them ages to prep the land, and then it just dawned on me, no, they were prospecting, you know. And I find out with every site now that they seem to be building everywhere and digging up fields left, right and centre, basically putting houses in weird places, like, you know, near roads and digging up the fields and all. And well, they don't really need to, because I mean we have all of these derelict buildings, and I know like you're trying to turn a lot of factories into iPass centres, and I get that, like stuff like that, but why can't they just knock them down and build there, you know, because it's already, but they're not, they seem to be going to new land. And yeah, it dawned on me, they're prospecting. But then I came across this, it's in the Dalton, I think it's in the second stage, and it's called the compulsory purchase order. And this is serious, folks. This is serious, because as far as I can see in it, I'll just move this over a bit more, get myself out of the way, so we can see it. Right sidebar. That looks a bit better. I'm sorry, just bear with me for a minute. Basically, this act is going to allow them to go in and make, you know, it says compulsory, but you know, like everything else that they put into power, into law, it's compulsory starting off, and then it usually turns into, you know, you have to. Me personally, I think this is unconstitutional, and it can be fought by using, you know, by using our bunnocked, which we probably will need to, because this basically is going to, I'm going to read this part here if I can find it. Like, you know, they're changing a lot of things to be able to do these things, but this is just explaining a lot of stuff, but I want to get into the nitty gritty of it. Relevant land, right, includes any estate, right? Any estate meaning us fecking people living in estates. They can go in, and if they want, you know, if they believe there's gold under there, and it is. This is what it's all about. I think it's all about gold. I mean, you're even, all you have to do is look at what they're doing. They're even starting to build they want to put like train tracks around éIRe, and what better way to move gold and move stuff that they find is sticking on the back of a train, you know, and the train brings it all the way to the ports and onto a boat, and it's gone. I have to, you know, and people are that silly. They think, oh look, they're giving us trains, and you know, look, they're setting up the whole system, and it's going to be brilliant. We're going to have trains going. They're not doing this for you, you know. They're not doing this for you. But anyway, relevant lands includes any estate or interest in or over land, right, other than the relevant interest. Any estate or an interest other than a relevant interest in, over, or relating to the substratum below the surface. Now, see, that's the one that caught me. Below the surface, you know, below the surface. They make a claim. This is a land grab. And there's nothing more to it. That's what it is. It's a land grab. Or any part, therefore, whether or not owned in horizontal, vertical, or other layers apart from the surface of the land. Now, see, mines, minerals, and other substances in the substratum below the surface, whether or not owned in horizontal, vertical, or other layers apart from the surface of the land. Land covered by water. Land covered by water. Now, what did they get a lot of the farmers to do a few years ago? Oh, yeah, they got them to fill their land full of water. Remember, for climate change. Do you remember that one? Climate change. Now, land covered by water. Use your heads, folks. You have to watch what these people are doing. Land covered by water. So they're going to basically go in now to these farms and say, oh, well, you know, your farm's been flooded there. You know, remember when we made you flood your land? Do you remember? They're going after the land, folks. This is to all the farmers. These gobshites just went and done what they asked you to do. This is how they do it. This is how they take over things. Buildings or structures of any kind affixed to land and any part of them, whether the division is made horizontally, vertically, or in any other way. The airspace above the surface of the land. Now, how the fuck can someone own the airspace? Or above any building or structure on land which is capable of being or was previously occupied by a building or structure, and any part of such airspace, whether the division is made horizontally, vertically, or in any way. And then G, any part of the land, but does not include state land within the meaning of section 2.1 of the Statutory Property Act 1954. Land owned by a state authority. Now this is the one that really got me. Within the meaning of section 2.1 of the State Property Act 1954. Any part of the maritime area. Tribunal means the evaluation tribunal. Vesting date means the date specified in the vesting order as a date on which the estates and interests in land specified in the order of vest in acquiring authority. Vesting order has the meaning to it by section 13. What is a state authority? Well, councils, isn't it? So basically, they're talking up here about estates. You know, that could be private estates, and it could be estates where people live, and then it's talking about state authorities. This basically, I could be wrong. I don't think I am wrong because I can see what's happening there. They basically can go into your house, and if they want to take your house, they make you an offer. Where we stand, and I mean, this could be a house that you're in past 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. You've raised your family. You know, you can have your pet dogs buried in the place. And you build up, you know, like myself, I'm doing a garden, and they can just come along and go, oh, we want your land, and off you go. and make it an offer. And this is what this they're putting it in writing into law that people will be able to do this. This is dangerous. This is very dangerous. And as I said, it's unconstitutional because, you know, it's just... So, like, it's still in the second stage. I think it's on the second stage now. Now, here's another particulars of claim. So this opens up to people, if they make an offer, and what you can do. So the people that can claim: an owner, a leasee, meaning if you're renting, or occupier, shall in making a claim under this act for compensation in respect of relative land or relative interests, an advancement payment of such compensation, or both compensation in respect of relevant land or relevant interests, and the advance payment of each compensation. Oh, good Lord. These people are out to get us, aren't they? They're out to... It's a land grab, and they're out to just to take everything off us, aren't they? They really are. they will fucking destroy this land like they do, like they did to Africa. Do you know Africa was at one point it was just full of forests and full of beauty, full of rivers and full of, now it's all dried up land, barren land of sand. They're coming for the area, folks, and we need to wake the fuck up. They're coming for the area. The world has its eyes on us. Where the address at which he or she ordinarily resides cannot be ascertained by reasonable inquiry by delivering it to some person over 16 years of age. 35 resident are employed on such land or premises, or by affixing it in a conspicuous position or on or near such land or premises. I mean, the act is there. Just go into oireachtas.ie and you can see exactly what they're doing. There's a few others that I'm going to do videos on that. Oh, what the hell are we doing here? Who do we have running this country? Who do we have? They are absolutely selling us out. Selling us out. My next video will be an interesting one. I'm reading a book at the minute, and it's basically, if you want to know the enemy and you get to know what they want to do, and that'll be the next video. So look, before I go, look this bill up. The bill is called this is a land grab, compulsory purchase order. This will all lead you into delimiting your property that they're all going for, and yeah, looks like it's not only private property they can go for. If you're renting or if you have your family home, they find gold, they'll come in and they'll destroy it and they'll take it off you. Now they say it's compulsory right now, but like I said, if it goes, if it goes into law, they'll just change another law. This is what these people do. It's what these people do. Anyway, leave it at that. Song of phone.